It's another great day in the neighborhood. Yeah, if you like debt. Yes, we're going to go over the indebtedness of Americans out there. And I have prayed now, and I've begged and I've pleaded for you for months not to use your credit cards, not to use debt as an instrument just to get by from moment to moment. Have a plan in place because the government is not here to help you out. In fact, it is here to tell you that everything's good. They'll tuck you into bed at night and they'll pat you on the head. And in the middle of the night, you're waking up in nightmares saying, I'm broke and my cat's missing. And where is my keys to my car? That's exactly what's happening out there for most Americans. We're all going to go over that next on Real Estate Daily. Welcome, everyone. My name is Troy, and every day we go over the latest news in real estate, housing, and the mortgage market. Now, before we jump into anything, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Helps me build this up. I'm going to give you the best 5 to 10 minutes in real estate on a daily basis. Now, if you're out there looking to sell your home or actually buy a home, I have something free for you. Yes, I know free doesn't mean it can come off as worthless, but I'm going to give you an absolute beautiful piece of information, and it's free down below. I'm going to give you a buyer's guide or a seller's guide today only. Well, I mean today only, tomorrow only, and the rest of the year only. Go down below, hit my link. If you're a seller or you're thinking about selling this year, hit that seller link. You can then enter your information and it will shoot you out a guide, a seller's guide. If you're a buyer and you're thinking about buying this year, but you don't understand the process and you don't want to be skittish and then rely completely on a real estate agent, hit that buyer's guide down below, that link, and then fill it out. We will email you out one beautiful guide. It's about 30, 40, 50 pages, but you can go through it as much as you want, and see what parts are important. Then if you have any other questions, please come back and you can either contact me personally or what you can do is then leave a comment below. All right, let's jump into this right away. Oh, jeez. Okay, let's jump into it. We're gonna go jump into X and to Twitter. And like I'm saying, probably the number one media out there right now is X. We're seeing it exploding. I think we're all anticipating Tucker Carlson coming back with that nice little intro video with Putin, and so he'll probably post that right on X. He's been doing episodes on X ever since he was let go by CNBC or Fox, and it's kind of funny because if you really think about it, how much more popular is Tucker Carlson today by getting out of that social media and coming into this media, which is free speech. All right, so let's go over what debt is. And this is what really scares me at night. I don't care if you tuck me in. I don't care if you pat my head. This is what wakes me up and says, where are the car keys? Look at the debt that we are running here in the United States. Record 17.5 trillion in household debt. Okay, that's all debt per household. In the United States, that's ridiculous. Record 12.3 trillion in mortgages. Now, mortgages is something else. I believe a mortgage is something that's positive. If you applied for a loan and you received it, that means you could make your mortgage payment. Typically, mortgage payments, if you had bought in your house, probably up to the last 12 months, your mortgage's payment would be less than what you would pay for rent. No questions asked at this moment. So that's what's a big plus. Now, this is what scares me. Record 1.6 trillion in auto loans, near record student loans, which, I know that this is the biggest asset on the government's books and they want to get rid of it because it's too easy to print money, correct? And then number 5, record 1.1 trillion, actually it's over 1.1 trillion in credit card debt. Guys, this is unsustainable unless we get huge raises out there or we see inflation go down. I mean, not down to 2%, guys. It has to see where prices were at back in 2020 when we had gas prices in the $2 range. We had, 50% less in food costs, at least, probably 66% less in energy costs. This has all exploded in the last 3 years. It's been a ridiculousness. And this is what really scares me at night, because when you put so many people in debt, and we're seeing people having 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet, sooner or later you do the cuckoo thing and you are out there, and it's not mentally good for you, it's not physically good for you. You're just become run down. It's time to make a change, right? It's time to make a change. All right, next article here. And do me a favor, hit that like button. I really would appreciate it. I'm gonna give you some of the best news on a daily basis, Monday through Friday. This is from the DS News. It says buyer purchasing power up as share for sale homes improves. So what this means is that there are more houses that hit the market in January. Now, we have a tradition that during the fourth quarter of any year, we're seeing less and less homes that are active on the market. Why? Well, people don't want to put their houses up or don't want to move during the holidays. You have Christmas, you have Thanksgiving, you have Halloween. A lot of times you're using your home for those holidays. That's where we're seeing homes come off the market. Well, we're seeing homes go back on the market, and which is good to see, because we need that inventory. A lot of Americans have a 2, 3, maybe 4% interest rate. And with that, they're paying significantly less than what it would cost to rent. And if you're paying significantly less than to rent, there's no way you'd sell your home, collect the $100,000, and then go out and rent. You're just going to burn off that $100,000 sooner or later. It's unless you put it to good use. And right now, where are you going to put it in? Nvidia? I mean, that's the top 7 in the S&P 500. It's not worth the gamble, guys. We know that over the last 40, 50 years, the number one valuable asset you have that you use on a daily basis. Don't use silver, you don't use gold, and you don't use stocks. You use a house. Is a number one asset you can get. Usually it's your most valuable asset you'll ever have, especially if you bought it 5, 10 years ago. You've doubled. Most of America have doubled the equity in it. And I'm proud to say that 33% of the United States homes do not even have any kind of mortgage on it. They're mortgage free. All right, jump into Housing Wire, and this is very interesting. It's assumable mortgages grow in popularity, but hurdles remain. So a lot of VA out there, and when I talk to people in VA, you can assume a VA loan, but there's a lot of hurdles to get past. One hurdle is that the house is worth significantly more than it was when it was purchased. So if I purchase it with a VA loan, which is typically a 100% loan, and I purchase it for $500,000, and 5 years later, the veteran says, "Hey, I want to sell it, but I want to sell it for $750," well, I can try to come in and assume whatever the remaining balance of that loan is. And if it's 100%, let's call it $475. I can assume it, right? But I still have the windfall between $475 and $750 that I want to sell. That's where these assumable loans don't really make sense, because anyone that's going to loan you any more money will be called a second. And a lot of times people don't want to be seconds, right? Because a second, if the first forecloses on you, the second gets wiped out. And at that point, you're gonna have to put enough equity down, or put enough money down as a down payment to make up for it. At least 10, maybe 15, 20% on it. Otherwise, it just doesn't make any sense. But there's still scenarios in which a veteran might have purchased it in the last 12 months, and then something happened, hopefully not health-wise, but they go into hospitals or senior living facilities, and now they need to do something with their home, and it just makes it a lot easier for a younger couple to go ahead and jump into an assumable loan at 3% interest rate, even 4% interest rate, than to go ahead and try to qualify for a 7% interest rate as of today. So they are out there. It's not being used as much as we had hoped. But we're trying to educate most real estate agents and buyers that that's available, though it's probably 5% of the scenarios that it makes sense in. But let's use in those 5% scenarios, because it really does help a lot of people. All right, interest rates. I know you guys are all looking at interest rates. What do we got to do here? Well, yesterday we saw a little bit drop here. This is conventional, went down about 4.5 points. This is FHA, went down about 2 points. So we're at 6.68 and 6.50. I know if you look at the media out there, they're all saying, oh, it's 7%. Well, that's a talking point more than it is actuality. There's a lot that goes into what your interest rate is. It has to do with your job, how much money you make, your FICO score, your ability to pay back the loan, how much debt you have. Those are all put in there. And I know that as the better credit score you have and the less debt you have and the better wage earner you are, you will get a lower interest rate. This is from Optimal Blue, and Optimal Blue is probably one of the most on the spot, interest rate companies out there. And this is what they do. They talk to all the interest rate or the mortgage lenders out in the United States, and then they put these averages together. Now, I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. I know in states where there's big loan amounts, like California here, jumbo loans, and I can't stress this, and I almost say it every day. These huge amounts, that went up 44 basis points. They have enormous fluctuation swings back and forth. And because of that, you need to get the right mortgage lender. And like I said, competition is fantastic. It is the way to go. Pit 2 or 3 lenders against each other and make sure that you ask them for 3 things. Okay? 3 things. It's very important. Number 1, interest rate, which is good, but it's not the be all end all. But these 2 are the be all end alls. What your payment is, okay? And I'm basing all this on a 30-year conforming, meaning it's gonna be 30 years exact same payment for 30 straight years. And number 2, what is your cost to close? Because mortgage lenders have a lot of tricks out there. They will tell you, oh, I can save you $100 a month on your mortgage payment. You're saying, well, yeah, I'll go with that. And then you find out you're paying an extra $5,000, in closing costs because they bumped the rate. They actually added closing costs to bump your rate down, but they don't tell you until you're in escrow or you're at the closing table or at your CD, which is your closing disclosure, depending on what state you're in. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. If you have any comments, please leave them below. I don't care. Old, ugly, bad, good, doesn't matter. Go ahead and leave them below. I really appreciate it. Otherwise, you guys take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.